Hello. So I'm gonna talk about a book that I think I read like 2 years ago, I think. And I got it in Kyoto in Korea when I was on a date with a guy. And we went to Kyoto and bought books, and it was very, very lovely, but whatever. And then as you know, I like to read books not based on their content, but based on how pretty their cover is. And this is the book I picked up, The Lost Apothecary. I was like, it looks really pretty. I gave the book to my mum after I read it because she was in Korea at the time with my dad, and like the morning they were leaving, I was like, "Here, this is the book. I finished it. I finished it last night at like 2 a.m. so that you can have it." My mum was like, "Okay," and I was hoping that it was here, but it just doesn't exist because normally the books that my parents, like my mum reads, that aren't hers, go into my room because it's like a storage room in this. Well, it's not a storage room at this point, but the bookshelf is definitely a storage bookshelf at this point. I think I only have two bookshelves in my bookshelf that are mine now. The rest is just like charity shop books and books that have been lent and will be lent out again. So I was like, oh, it must be there. It's not. I checked the other bookshelves in the house and it is not there. So I think it's either been charity shopped or it has been given away. I don't care. I was like, oh, it's so pretty though. But this, The Lost Apothecary, by Sarah Penna. I had to check because I can't always read backwards anymore. It was so good. Because I didn't actually know anything about it, but I love this, like, The Lost Apothecary. I love titles that are, like, you know, could have different meanings or, like, are ambiguous. I think that's the right word. And I just love books like that because I'm like, what do you mean The Lost Apothecary? Like, is it like in a different dimension? Or is it like an old apothecary? Or is it like, I don't know, lost? Haha, so funny. So I was like, oh, this is so pretty. I will buy it and I will read it. And I did. It didn't stay on my TBR for too long. It decided to be read very quickly. I decided for it to be read very quickly because I was like, the cover is so pretty. So I read this and I was like, oh, it's about London. It's about my hometown. Well, not my hometown, but my home country's capital. London is not my hometown. My hometown is Bournemouth. But I was like, oh, it's England. And it's like about this woman. I think she's from America and she has a fiance or husband. I can't remember if it's fiance or husband. I think it's husband because I think they've been married and they're going to England for either their honeymoon or an anniversary. And I'm going to show this because it's really pretty. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. And something happens. Like he's like cheating or something. And so she goes alone. There's a reason that she goes alone. I want to say it's because he was cheating or because of something. But she goes to London anyway because she really wanted to go into like, it's not where they dig up stuff. Archaeology, but not archaeology, something slightly different. Like the study of old objects. It's not archaeology, but it's similar. But she basically goes to the London Thames and she sees this group of people like finding stuff on the beach there on the riverbank. I forget what they call the thing. My dad has a whole book about it and I was staring at that spine the other day. Mudlarking, I think it's mudlarking. And basically like it's finding objects from the past in the mud of a river because that's where all things were thrown. And she finds this really beautiful bottle. I think it's a bottle that she finds. And what's really nice is the book splits into two stories. It goes into the past of the old apothecary and how this apotheker, the woman running the apothecary, makes poisons for women's like husbands or to be married, fiancés, this kind of thing, to kill them off at some point because they've done something wrong, or to make them ill because they've done something wrong. And her mother always did it to help women. And the apothecary shop is only for women. And it's like a special calling card that women know of. The apotheker, she has a trainee, and then they get found out in some way. And so they go and, like, the whole story goes on, and then it splits back to the present, where this American woman is trying to find where this apothecary would be. And she does find it, and she, like, finds, like, the door that leads down to it because it's on the old maps. So she meets all these people that are really fascinated with the history of London, like the man from the mudlarking. She meets the librarian that's, like, really interested and has, like, all these maps. And she meets, like, other people too. And then you go back to this, like, old time in the past where this apothecary is open, and this apothecator is, like, saying the story and, like, how things are made, and that she doesn't feel well because she's not holding up what the apothecary should be, which is, like, helping women in a way that is healthy. Like, not you, because she's using the apothecary and for bad reasons, by killing off people, which is what goes against a code that her mum and like her family kind of set up, the women before set up. And so she feels more ill and she feels more haunted as time goes on. And, like, the trainee is helping her a lot. And it's just a really interesting story. And then, as this is definitely spoilers, because as you go through the present story, you see that the husband is not a good guy, and he, like, manipulates and gaslights this amazing protagonist. And kind of both stories go through the same arc at the same time. Like, the troubles are at the same point and the solutions are at the same point. And just, there's so many twists to the story. I haven't said all of them because I don't want to ruin it if you decide to read it, but it's such a good story, and I would 100% read it again if I had the book. I have to rebuy the book or just get it on Kindle. So definitely, I love this book. I love the cover. The cover is why I bought it. I judged the book by its cover, and then I just enjoyed the story so much. So I 100% recommend it. Like, it's such a good book. Oh, the fact I can remember it after 2 years, I think, shows how good of a book it is. Like, obviously I've not remembered it perfectly, but I know the storyline. Like, I think I think what makes a good book, what makes a good book is that it impacts you in some way, makes you think in some way, whether it's political, whether it's, like, I don't know, emotional. In some way it's impacted you and made you think, and you can remember it after a long time, I think, is what's good. Because I've seen, like, a lot of my books, this is a completely different tangent, but a lot of my books that I've read since being in England are ones that I maybe have read years ago, or I've had on my shelf and started to read, and, like, they're so good. Some I wish I could take back to Korea. I need to figure out my packaging. Not important to this TikTok. Sorry, tangent. Anyway, yes, I'm planning on taking back, like, 23 kilograms of books. How many books is that? We don't know. How big is the book? We don't know. Anyway, so yes, The Lost Apothecary made me think, and it made me interested in, mudlarking and looking at the past, and I think it's really cool. I love when stories do dual stories, but I also do find it hard sometimes if I've taken a break from the book to come back to it, and I'm like, who does what now, when, and where? And you're like, this person was who, and this person is what, and what do they do? But I did enjoy this book. So let me know if you've read The Lost Apothecary and what you thought of it. Let me know if you're reading a book similar to it, or if you recommend books similar to it, or you just enjoyed a book and want to recommend it, because I'm always down for recommendations. A marathon TBR can always be added to, but always recommend books and let me know what you thought. And yeah, enjoy reading whatever you're reading, and I'll talk to you soon.